Let's go to Moses Mabhida Stadium right now, where our reporter, Juniour Khumalo, is on standby to give us all the details. Juniour, in light of KwaZulu-Natal's significance as a political battleground, what insights can you offer us on the EFF strategy to gain traction in this historically contested territory dominated by the ANC and IFP?
Actually, please allow me to actually just start with the EFF leader, Julius Malema's demeanor, actually, when he was delivering this manifesto of the EFF. We know that the 56,000-seater stadium was not full to capacity, and Julius Malema was visibly aggrieved by this when he took to the podium. He was not the usual firebrand Julius Malema that we are used to, and he touched on this, saying that a lot of South Africans believed that the EFF was not going to be able to fill up the stadium because of some of the councillors that were actually fired that are from KwaZulu-Natal. We know that during the EFF's birthday celebrations in July last year, the EFF failed to bring some of the buses, the KwaZulu-Natal councillors failed to bring buses to Gauteng for that birthday celebrations. So some of them were fired from here, and there was this expectation that it's going to be a challenge for the EFF to actually fill up this sizable Moses Mabhida Stadium. But anyway, the EFF leader decided to bring it here to KZN, and he delivered that manifesto today. He spoke in particular to the people of KwaZulu-Natal, saying that the EFF is the one that has basically delivered services, especially in eThekwini. We know that this province has actually suffered a lot of floods, and eThekwini was the most affected area in this province. And the EFF, he says, EFF councillors were the ones that actually had to step up and literally make sure that those services were brought to the people that are deserving of them. But more than this, the EFF leader actually spoke a lot about load shedding and how much of a challenge this has been to South Africans. He said that it's not only businesses that are actually suffering, it's actually ordinary South Africans that are also suffering, to a point that some individuals are losing their lives. We say that people that have to rely on machines to live or to breathe were also affected to a point of losing their lives. We know there was a story of a 3-year-old who passed away last year owing to load shedding. So he said that the EFF actually has a plan in place when it comes to dealing with load shedding. He said this plan included bringing in engineers that the EFF has already contacted, and those engineers are actually on standby for the EFF government to take over office, and then they will work with them to try and reduce load shedding. He said in the process of trying to reduce load shedding, about 9 million jobs, according to the EFF leader Julius Malema, will be created.
So as we continue to speak about the support that the EFF hopes to garner up in KwaZulu-Natal, what do you make of Julius Malema's comments, especially also hailing King Misuzulu Gazwelithini at the Moses Mabhida Stadium, as the party also tries to really get to the hearts and minds of people in KZN, of course led by their traditional leaders as well?
Indeed, the EFF leader has made it very clear as they just walk past us right now and go into the VIP area where they are going to be eating. He did speak about how the EFF reverences a lot of these traditional leaders that have actually been cast away to the side by the ANC current government. He said it doesn't matter whether people take the King Misuzulu to court. We know that there's a pending court battle between some who believe that he is not been appointed using the right ways into that position. He says that the EFF believes that he is the rightful heir to that throne, and the EFF will continue to support him. He also paid tribute to the Nazareth Church, the Church of Ishembe, saying that that big church is actually embraced by the EFF, who also take religion seriously as we lead to the election season. We know that he spoke a lot also about just the people of KZN, how KZN was an influential and important province. The IEC did announce that in terms of the provinces, KwaZulu-Natal has the highest number of registered voters, followed by KZN. So that's where a majority of these voters are from, and the EFF will target those areas, Gauteng as well as KwaZulu-Natal.
Let's speak about the rallying call made by the EFF leader Julius Malema, saying that their call leading up to the elections is land now, jobs now, stop load shedding. What do you make of some of the comments that he made highlighting these aspects?
When it comes to jobs now and land now, we know that this is the call that the EFF made at its formation in 2014. So they've been very consistent throughout. Even in 2019, when they launched their manifesto, they also said that they were demanding jobs now and land now, and they wanted South Africans to entrust them with a majority in government to ensure that they deliver on this. But we know that the EFF actually tabled the bill to try and change the constitution, especially section 25 of the constitution, but later did not vote with the ANC to change this section 25 of the constitution so that it will allow government to basically redistribute land. He said that when the EFF does take over office this time around, then they will definitely table that bill to try and change that part of the constitution again and ensure that South Africans do receive the land. So it's not clear whether the EFF does mean that it will keep some of these promises. We know that the EFF leader, Julius Malema, said this is actually not promises, these were commitments being made by the EFF, so South Africans should entrust them with the votes to enable that they have a majority and don't need the votes of other parties in parliament to change the laws and allow for things such as the redistribution of land and all of these things. So this was another commitment that the EFF has made. We're not sure whether they're going to get enough votes come the general elections or if indeed they're going to see through these promises, because we know the ANC has made the similar promise since 1994, and Julius Malema himself said since 1994, in the 30 years of democracy, the ANC has basically failed to deliver on some of these promises. The promise of delivering land to the majority of South Africans who still don't have land has not been kept by the ANC, despite them having a clear majority for the majority of the 30 years of democracy that the ANC has been in power. So he did bash the ANC basically and say that the State of the Nation address that was delivered by President Ramaphosa on Thursday, where he said that there were so many achievements in the past 30 years of democracy, like the giving of South Africans in terms of water, in terms of the electrification of a majority of the space in the country, is basically a fallacy. He said it's a fragment of the ANC's imagination. So we are yet to see whether the EFF, if they are given that majority, will deliver on the promises that were made by its leader today.
That's our reporter, Juniour Khumalo. He's out at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. Of course, as we saw a short while ago, leaders of the EFF also walking past him after wrapping up quite an extensive document, 265 pages long, that is the EFF manifesto.